freedom, man. That's what it's all about. You've got to groove on freedom, like the good book says.
Welcome. You are listening to What on Earth is Happening. This show will discuss the topics of human consciousness, mind control, natural law, the occult, and all issues that affect the freedom of the people of Earth. What on Earth is Happening will endeavor to shine light upon the darkness of our world and to offer empowering solutions to the problems we face as humanity approaches its critical moment of choice. And now, here is your host, Mark Passio.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to What on Earth is Happening right here on the Oracle Broadcasting Network. I'm your host, Mark Passio. Today is Sunday, June 12th, 2011. This show is live every Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 4 to 6 p.m. Central Time. My website is whatonearthishappening.com. The network's website, of course, oraclebroadcasting.com. Today we have a good show lined up for you. We are going to transition back into talking about subversive symbolism, which we outlined as part of our Methodologies of mind control, which we have been covering basically since I began this radio program, as the 13th method out of 14 general methodologies that I'll be covering during the course of this show. After this, we'll be moving into what I term chaos sorcery, which should be a very interesting series of programs coming up in the future here on What on Earth is Happening. Today we are going to be looking at the symbolism of the Hypercube. This is a very deep occult symbol. It is generally only revealed to higher level initiates in the occult, and it is not a very well known symbol, and there's not a whole lot of information out there on the Hypercube or what it actually represents and means. So we'll be looking at this very subtle and very subversive symbol on the show today. Before we do that, I want to just make one brief event announcement. The Nikola Tesla Energy Independence Celebrations, a 4-day conference about Nikola Tesla and his technologies, is coming up right here in Philadelphia, my hometown, on July 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. There's a whole bunch of events that are going to be happening as part of this 4-day conference, including a science conference, a social gathering, a Tesla birthday celebration, and open discussions and exhibitions right on the lawn outside of the Independence Visitor Center on Independence Mall here in Philadelphia. So for more information about this great event coming up here in the city of Philadelphia and more information about the hosts of this event, the Tesla Science Foundation, please visit the Tesla Science Foundation's website at teslasciencefoundation.org. That's teslasciencefoundation.org. I'm honored to be working with this group, and I will actually be one of the co-master of ceremonies at the Tesla Science Foundation Social on July 9th. There will also be a classical conference featuring the Divine Hand Ensemble, a great theremin ensemble from Philadelphia. So check out the Tesla Science Foundation and the Tesla Energy Independence celebrations coming up in July. We'll be right back after these breaks, folks. Stay with us. Folks, we're back. You're listening to What on Earth is Happening. I'm your host, Mark Passio. My website, whatonearthishappening.com. Before we get started with the material for today's show, I want to make another couple of quick announcements about things that I just basically completed this week and posted to one of the websites that I run. I was one of the co-hosts of the Free Your Mind conference here in Philadelphia back in April, and we shot over 17 hours of video for that conference in HD quality, and all 16 speakers plus the panel discussion were filmed, and I am very pleased to announce that we have finally completed all of the editing of that footage, and it is now all online on the official conference website for free. So you could check out all of the speakers from the Free Your Mind conference by just going to the conference website, www.freeyourmindconference.com. And if you go to each speaker's biography page on the site, right there featured prominently will be an HD video of the speaker's presentation from the Free Your Mind Conference 2011. So enjoy them. I hope you learn a lot, and please spread the word and get them out to everybody. That's what this conference was all about. This conference was about speaking out, taking action, coming together for a common cause, and getting the word out. So the information is up there. The organizers have done their job, and the information is now public, and as they say, since it's been put on the internet, technically it has now been immortalized, because unless you destroy this planet, you're not going to destroy information once it hits the internet. It's in the public domain, it's shared at the speed of light, and that's the way to get information out there and preserved. So I want to thank all the organizers once again. They did a phenomenal job. I want to thank Tim Smith for the recording of all of the speakers' presentations, and I want to thank all of the speakers for being a part of the event and sharing their profound knowledge. So that's the first announcement. The second announcement is related to this. On my website, I posted my presentation from the Free Your Mind conference. That can be found on the news section of What on Earth is Happening, and also in the video section. So it was on the use of subversive symbolism, a topic we're going to continue to discuss tonight, when it is applied against the police and military institutions and their personnel. People think that the police and military are technically on the side of the, quote, New World Order, or the occultists that are really running things. And in all honesty, they may be doing their bidding, but nothing could be farther from the truth. The occultists do not consider the military and the police as on their side. The occultists take no sides except their own, and they don't consider anyone from the general population, nor anyone from even the minions who do their bidding, as among them. So, as I've said before on this show, they call people the dead. That's what they call the average, ordinary person who has no idea what's really going on around them. This is their term for the average Joe, who doesn't really have an expanded, awakened consciousness, who doesn't really understand what's taking place within them or in the world around them, can't put the pieces of the puzzle together. They call people the dead, because their rationale for that is, if you're not using your intelligence, if you don't really care about what's going on enough to find out, and you're not taking any action based on what you know, for all intents and purposes, you have no consciousness, and therefore you are considered dead to them. That's one of the ways they absolve themselves from all personal responsibility, by saying, we're not doing this to any actual live, dynamic, living beings. We're doing this to dead people. And they really actually believe that in their own minds. that if you are spiritually dead, for all intents and purposes, you are dead. And therefore, anything they do does not matter. So, they hate people even more than the people that they call the dead, and these are the police and military. Yes, the dark occultists despise, detest, and loathe these people more than any other people on the earth. And I heard this, again, as I've said before, I've used the phrase from their lips to my ears. I've heard them talk about the police and military. And they call them our dogs. That's their name for them. And we're going to see, when we look at the symbolism of the Hypercube today, how this is applied specifically, targeted against police and military. So for people that want to learn more about this and go even further in depth about this symbolism, I encourage you to check out my video presentation from the Free Your Mind conference entitled The Occult Mockery of Police and Military Personnel. I've also been discussing this on the Bob Tuskin show. He's had me as a guest on his show over the last couple of months, and we've covered about half the presentation. Maybe he'll bring me back on in the future for us to wrap it up. And, we're